Bună seara, stimați telespectatori, la o nouă emisiune Ambasador România. Sunt convins că vă era dor după atâtea țări din Orientul Mijlociu, din Nordul Africii, din America de Sud, din diverse alte continente, să întoarcem puțin în Europa. În seara aceasta vom discuta despre o țară specială pentru români, pentru mine ca român, dar pentru români în general. O țară prietenă de foarte mult timp, o țară cu care România nu a avut niciodată război, chiar dacă, din păcate, a fost un moment în istoria României în care a trebuit, pentru interesul național al acestei țări, să permitem avioanelor NATO să bombardeze Serbia, pentru că despre Serbia este vorba. A rămas însă un prieten apropiat. Oamenii, cetățenii sârbi sunt printre cei mai buni prieteni ai României și ai românilor. Este vorba despre o zonă extrem de interesantă, un popor extrem de mândru, un popor care își respectă istoria, care își respectă tradiția și care ține capul sus și care și-a ținut capul sus de-a lungul istoriei. Este un popor care merită tot respectul nostru pentru modul în care și-au apărat, dacă vreți, demnitatea. Este foarte important acest lucru și am vrut să-l menționez înainte de a începe discuția cu ambasadorul Serbiei la București, pentru că, din păcate, aceste valori sunt din ce în ce mai puține și din ce în ce mai puține țări țin la aceste valori. Vom discuta însă astăzi despre multe lucruri care țin de politica externă a Serbiei, care țin de relațiile dintre România și Serbia și sunt convins că domnul ambasador, cu o vastă experiență, va răspunde la toate întrebările noastre. Vreau însă să precizez că este emisiunea dedicată Serbiei, dar, pentru că este 4 iulie, vreau să le spun la mulți ani tuturor cetățenilor americani din România, pentru că este 4 iulie, vreau să le spun tuturor americanilor de pe întreg globul la mulți ani, pentru că Statele Unite este un partener extrem de important pentru țara noastră și înseamnă, la nivel de parteneriat strategic pentru securitate, apărare și integritate teritorială, cel mai important partener. Așa că la mulți ani Statele Unite ale Americii și vom spune fiecărei țări, dacă se va nimeri să fie ziua națională, la mulți ani, pentru că este un moment special pentru cetățenii acelei țări. Dați-mi voie însă să intru în discuția cu invitatul meu de astăzi, Branko Brankovic, ambasadorul Serbiei la București, un personaj carismatic cu care deja, în pauză ne-am familiarizat și un personaj extrem de direct. Am să schimb în limba engleză pentru a putea avea dialogul în continuare. Mr. Ambassador, first of all, thank you for coming.
It's a pleasure.
I made a short introduction mentioning the 4th of July and congratulating the American people for their National Day. We do this with all the countries.
And I congratulate them too.
Yes, thank you very much. And I also mentioned to our viewers few things about Serbia and the Serbians. I mentioned, because I was there, I mean, I don't speak from stories. I was in Serbia and I discovered there, not only from history books, that you are a very proud people, people with dignity, people which enjoy life, but that are not leaving their dignity aside. And I mentioned this to our viewers, also the friendship between the two countries, and also the delicate moment of getting or leaving the NATO airplanes to bomb Serbia, which was a difficult moment, but it was done because Romania considered it was in its interest. Besides that, the friendship between the Serbians and the Romanians, at least at the border in that area, is a very close friendship. And we consider you like that. We consider you very, very close to us. And Mr. Ambassador, my first question to you would be, of course, how is to be an ambassador to Bucharest, which is not very far from your home?
It's beautiful. It's very good, very well, for a number of reasons. First, I must say that when I came, the first thing I heard and I saw was that Romanians are saying that they have two friends, Black Sea and Serbia.
That's true.
And so I am definitely very proud.
Yes.
On the other hand, you know very well that the relations between Serbia and Romania is traditional, long-standing. We are this year celebrating 136 years of the establishment of the diplomatic relation between two countries. And you know very well that we have a number of people, Serbs, who were even born in here,
Yes.
and quite a number of those who have, I wouldn't call it made, but they were part of a history of Romania because they lived here, either in Arad, like Sima Tekelia, who in 1702 built a church which now exists, or Mr. we call him Kapetan Misha Anastasievich, who lived in Cluj, who built over there another church. Then we have in Medgidia a cemetery where the Romanians are honoring at one of the monuments the more than 8,000 Serbs who were killed in Dobruja in 1916.
Yes.
So at the same time, we have in Timișoara, as you know, more than Timișoara and around 20 to 25,000 Serbs. They are now second or third generations.
Yes.
And we have at the same time a number of Romanians living on the other side of the border, which is, I would call it, a kind of a bridge in between two countries.
Banatul sârbesc. The Serbian Banat.
Yeah, Serbian Banat, okay, but anyway, we used to say always that they are a bridge in between two countries for everything,
Yes.
for good relations
Yes.
between people. Then good relations as far as policy is concerned. And you know that we have traditionally excellent political relations. At the same time, I have to say at the very beginning that we very much thank Romanian people, Romanian parliament and government and the president that Romania has not recognized one-sided proclamation of independence of Kosovo, which is part of Serbia, traditionally for centuries. Whatever happened, happened. What we are now trying to discuss about whatever in Brussels is needed to make the living in Kosovo for the time being acceptable for all Serbs, Albanians and other non-Albanians. So, but at the same time, we will never, ever recognize independence of Kosovo.
Mr. Ambassador, because you already touched one of the not sensitive, but one of the important subjects for our discussion, I will leave the polite side side and I will go with straight questions to you, as I feel you're a very straight person. What happened in Kosovo, Mr. Ambassador? What is the truth? Because Romanians know some of them which are close to the border,
Yeah.
but in all of Romania they're not aware necessarily of the version of the Serbs or of the authorities which are now there. What actually happened and how unfortunately Serbia was, let's say, a victim of a war, or let's say all the region, and we are now in a situation where Kosovo it's an independent auto-proclaimed republic, yes, and Romania didn't recognize it for several reasons. I think one of them is because we have also Harghita, Covasna and Mureș, and that can happen at any moment as well. But this is my impression.
Okay, but you will have straight answer on your state question.
Yes.
Romania didn't recognize Kosovo, not for the reasons you want to say, but we consider that as Romania respecting the international law and the main principles of the Charter of the United Nations, which says and is guaranteeing, if you want, the independence, territorial integrity of every single state of the United Nations. So that's why we are to you and other 4 countries from European Union
Yes.
very grateful. And this is
Spain,
the reason
Greece.
how we do see exactly why you didn't recognize that. Your internal questions are your internal
Sure.
questions, but this is how do we look at that. Well, you asked me about what happened in Kosovo. You know very well that Kosovo has been traditionally part of Serbia since 12th, 13th century, etc., etc. The main history and the beginning of the forming of Serbia as a state comes from Kosovo. The fact that we lost the battle against Turkish Ottoman Empire in 1389 means nothing, because we have in Kosovo together living Serbs, Albanians, and other non-Albanians like Turks, like even Egyptians and the other people.
But the Albanians are majority.
They were not the majority, let's say, in the last century or at the beginning of the century. But after the Second World War, a number of Albanians from Albania trying to escape after 1948, and you know what happened in 1948, the Inform Bureau
Yes.
Declaration, etc.
Yes.
And that was, Albania was one of the very, how can I say, keen supporter of Stalin's policy at the time.
Unfortunately.
When we in 1948 said, no, Albanians from there, hundreds, even thousands used to come to Kosovo. It was perfectly all right because they were welcome. And of course, the natality of Albanians is a bit different, and they are now, frankly speaking, the majority.
Yes.
But they always had, even from Prizren Liga, you know, that goes back, the ideas about independent Kosovo together with Albania.
Yes.
And you have probably, you are witnessing now, the statement of Prime Minister of Albania, who was promoting big Albania, that is to say part of Montenegro, part of Greece, part of Macedonia, and Kosovo, of course.
Well, one of
together.
the most dangerous declarations that
This,
I assisted
you know
recently.
what, this is the most dangerous declaration, but at the same time a most dangerous thought,
Thought, yes.
which has been put in front of all the people. You always have the extremes.
True.
So the people, the Albanians in Kosovo are not all the same. You know that we had, in order to start implementing this kind of an idea, they organized so-called UCK in the kind of, we call it terrorist organization.
Yes,
And
they
have,
call it the
of
National,
course,
the
they
National
have
Defense
started
Army. Yeah.
to fight against the legal authorities in Kosovo and Metohija. Immediately after the end of and dismantling of former Yugoslavia, which is another story for the moment.
We can discuss later.
Yeah, later on. The dismantling of everything or every single country, which is that, as you rightly said at the beginning, pride
Dignity.
and dignity, was a policy of certain countries, and that's why immediately after the 91, 92, when whatever happened, what happened in Bosnia, Croatia, etc., they pushed the Albanians to separate Kosovo from Serbia.
1 second.
Yes?
Keep your thought.
Yes.
You are also saying that it was not only the wish of the Albanians in Kosovo and the Albanians in Albania, but also other countries in Europe push them or help them to declare the independence?
Yes. Why? First and foremost, there was a kind of floscule, I would say, just a saying, that Serbia wants to have it composed Great Serbia, which was ridiculous. Part of Serbia, then part of Croatia, part of God knows what. that has never been idea of any Serb. That was probably from time to time pushed by some extremes from certain small circles from Serbia, that it was not the policy of Serbia, never ever.
Not even
It has
Milosevic? Not even
Not even
Milosevic?
Milosevic, definitely not. I know that very well. I was in Belgrade while that was going on. The Milosevic regime, what they call it, and
Yes.
he himself, I must say that I know him personally because we were at the university together. He is a patriot, but he's not the guy who wanted more than what Serbia has. And at the same time, he was very much in favor of trying to help Serbs all around to have the rights they deserve to have as minorities. And you know what exactly happened, for instance, in Croatia in '95.
Yes.
You know very well, by the decision of the government of Croatia, they employed military force and then expelled more than 250,000 Serbs, women, children, and elderly people, civilians, and that was par excellence ethnic cleansing after the first one, which was, as it was, at a time, you know. Now, in order to come up with dismantling of Serbia at the time, and Albanians were very good ground to be pushed from outside on the basis of the so-called policy of oppressing Albanians in Kosovo.
Wasn't happening?
Definitely not.
Because the UN...
There was the legal behavior of the authorities to defend the territory which were the part of Kosovo and part of Serbia altogether. Because Serbia, after the decomposition of Yugoslavia, was recognized by Badinter Commission within the frontiers together with Kosovo.
True.
So that's why they pushed and they started, how can I say, armed conflicts. And we have the people who used to be really terrorists, who have been killing civilians and the others from the Albanian part. They are now all in the government. We have Minister of Foreign Affairs who is Taci. You have Haradinaj, they are leading certain parties over there now. When they proclaimed independence. Let me finish the point.
Yes.
The situation over there was very dramatic, and the Serbian authorities at the time had all the right to defend itself and to keep the territory together, because even at that time when they started, when they saw what happened in '95 in Croatia, they wanted to, how can I say, to start with the trouble in order to do whatever the Croatians have done with Serbs, the Albanians wanted to do with the Serbs from Kosovo. And they committed quite a level of ethnic cleansing. We have around 200,000 Serbs who escaped from Kosovo, pressed and oppressed by the Albanians. But at the same time, while the conflict was going on over there, I know that besides Albanians, there were certain atrocities and certain crimes have been committed.
By the Serbs?
By the Serbs as well.
Yes.
We want every single person who has done anything against the law has to go to court. And not only, I mean every single citizen of Serbia, in Kosovo of course, whether it's Albanian or Serb or any other nationality, if he or she committed anything like that, they have to be punished, you know, through a regular court procedures. Then, since the external forces saw that in fact there is no possibility that we will allow any separation of Kosovo from Serbia. And they wanted to do that because they want to dismantle Serbia in 3 or 4 parts, because we are the largest by territory and just the biggest as far as the citizens are concerned.
From the
including
region.
all Serbia, yeah.
Mr. Ambassador, I stop you for 1 second. I'm sorry for a commercial break, and we come back to your idea.
Greatest pleasure.
Publicitate.